Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime Series with me, Kim Britt, leading the charge with insights, information, and ultimately effective results. Joining me today is Marketing and Leadership segment, Marketing Communications expert and co-host Craig Pagely. How you doing, Craig?
Kevin, good. Yeah, great. Great to be chatting again. With this incessant rain we've had since Saturday, I hope you got your flippers and snorkels out because I do believe you live next to a river.
Yes, the river is flooding, so
Oh, wow.
but it's not. It hasn't come past the actual bottom garden fence.
Okay.
So, but it is already there. So it's about 5 meters away, which is stressful because if it rains anymore, it's gonna. It's not raining today, but I know there's more coming. So hopefully it doesn't flood too much.
Yeah, on my side of the world, it is raining. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I was saying yesterday that all the rain that happens in Johannesburg, it's kind of trickled down this way towards the Vaal Dam.
Yes.
So whether it's this river or any other that we have, it all eventually comes down here. It's stressful.
Keep the snorkels out.
Craig, so last week we spoke about the second half of Kantar's Marketing Trends 2025 report. What do we have for today's conversation?
Kevin, yeah, so we covered the final 5 trends. We'll be looking at a totally new topic today. And for today, I want to discuss content contained in the article I came across on McKinsey.com titled Unlocking the Next Frontier of Personalised Marketing. And like many of the great reports and articles we've covered from McKinsey.com, the article was written by a cohort of authors, namely Ellie Stein, Kelsey Robinson, Alexis Wolver, Galen Elmedia, and Willow Hong. And then I noted that the authors also gave credits to a couple of other contributors to the article, namely Carolyn Spalding, Jianing Cheng, and Molly McCulloch. And the article was published in the online version of McKinsey Quarterly, and it's as recent as 30 January 2025. And then the article opens with a statement that I know you'll appreciate, which reads as follows. As more consumers seek tailored online interactions, companies can turn to AI and generative AI to better scale the capability to personalize experiences. And I know that you're testing the various capabilities of AI across both your business and personal life. So I think there'll be a couple of simple key truths for you to take away and hopefully implement as well.
Yeah, and I think I've been in a number of different Zoom calls and online networking events, and AI is it's absolutely the forefront of what people are talking about. So it's and yet it's so in contradiction to the future of work is human, because it's almost like we're forgetting that humans are still here. We're still here, and we still need to focus on how we're going to evolve. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
That's such a good point that you make, Kevin, because there is the shift to AI thinking that AI is the holy grail, but the context of how it should and could be used is being missed at the moment. So jumping into the front end of the conversation, not into actually what's required to make it more effective. Very good point. So Kevin, the first 2 paragraphs clearly describe the complexity, exactly as we're talking about now, of the challenges, and in this particular instance, facing retailers and marketers when trying to deliver these highly expected personalized experiences for consumers. And the opening 2 paragraphs really set the tone very clearly, and it notes this. So here are the challenges facing brands and retailers. Communicate clearly with a vast array of consumers who speak thousands of languages, hail from countless different cultures and socioeconomic backgrounds, and make purchasing decisions based on highly personal preferences. It's not easy. It's not an easy feat to reach all of these consumers on a broad scale in an authentic way. For some time now, companies have been trying to address customer needs through personalization, using data and analytics to craft more relevant consumer experiences. The goal is to present consumers with compelling offers and tailored, resonant messages at the right time. Today's customers want more of this. So now, Kevin, if you just look at those 2 paragraphs, it talks about vast array of consumers, different languages, countless different cultures, different socioeconomic backgrounds, purchase decisions based on highly personal preferences, needing to reach them in an authentic way, using data, using analytics, crafting more relevant experiences. Gosh, that's a hell of a lot to deal with in really trying to be effective as a marketer in today's day and age.
Yeah, Craig, and I think that's crafting the authenticity. What people are not understanding about, just for example, ChatGPT is you have to put content, you have to put information into it to learn about who you'd like it to speak about. It still has to be authentically you as
Grounded. Yep.
So it has to learn about you, and if it's helping you, pull anything together, it's learning. Okay, this is exactly what this human is wanting to share, and like it's authentic. The word authentic, I think, is a big deal.
So there's two stats that I want to share here, and you see that there still is a bit of a misalignment between the delivery and the expectation. And the first, and both from McKinsey, previous McKinsey research, we note that 71% of consumers expect companies to deliver personalized interactions, and 76% of consumers actually get frustrated with brands and organizations that don't deliver on these interactions. And the key learning for retailers here is that when they do get it right, believe me, you're going to see significant value delivered for their respective brands.
So, I mean, how do retailers get it right then, Craig?
So, Kevin, we know that companies for a long time have been stuck in deploying these tactical, manual, standalone solutions when trying to engage with their customers. But with the demand from customers for highly engaged personal interactions, retailers have been evolving their efforts to try and reach consumers where they are and how they want to be met. And so they're achieving this through the adoption of two key innovations, namely through AI-driven targeted promotions, and then through the subset of AI, Gen AI, which, to quote, helps create and scale highly relevant messages with bespoke tone, with imagery, with copy and experiences at high volume and speed. Take note, high volume and speed. Effective adoption of these two approaches most definitely does set the tone for successful growth for these retailers, Kevin. But the use of AI to drive improved analytics models enables brands and retailers to definitely provide much more valuable offers to micro communities now. And yeah, wherever they want to engage. In addition to this, the adoption of Gen AI is now allowing marketers to actually create these tailored content messages and bundles of content that is much more relevant to those micro communities and groups, Kevin. The average advantage is that brands and retailers can better connect with their customers by using language that actually speaks directly to them and by providing communications that resonates more effectively and gives consumers the real reason to engage with those brands. The article notes that to unlock the potential of targeted promotions and content, marketers must prioritize efforts to boost the underlying marketing technology stack. And that's a big investment requirement, Kevin. These robust frameworks are built on better data, better decisioning, better design and distribution models, and measurement is absolutely essential in this new technology stack. So the robust frameworks will help build that data, give you more effective decisioning, as I mentioned, and allow better distribution. And with improved analysis coming from that data, marketers can then gain a much deeper insights into their customer behavior, really get to understand their preferences, and start providing those personalized experiences that incorporate tactics that feed into a long-term personal strategy for growth. And that's when the loyalty pipeline really kicks in there as well.
And it's interesting as you speak through that, Craig, and this is what I'm also seeing that people are not seeing, like enough, with just in the last year that when we started knowing about AI and the abilities it has, for you to be able to just take a bunch of data. And I'm thinking just of a sales team that, I was working with last year, that, we just took a bunch of data and I showed them in real time. I said, put this data into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you a bit of a roadmap for the next month. And they sat there in absolute bewilderment because they couldn't think that, oh wow, it really amplifies how we do business. And I think people are completely missing that on how they could, because as much as AI can give you information, it really helps you take information, get there quicker to deliver on stuff quicker as well.
Absolutely. And
Using
just going, but those 5 key principles really are important. Firstly, you've got to have better data, and the more you're using data, the better and more effective it can be. Good data in allows you to put some good information out. So better data, then you really got to know what your decisioning is about. Then you design the communications and contact of engagement around that. Then you have a more effective distribution model. And those 4 really can only be advanced and enhanced if the measurement platform is in place as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do retailers deliver these targeted offers, Craig?
Yeah, Kevin. So yeah, I guess to start off with, we all know that the old way of managing promotions is just send big, generic, bland, bulk volumes of messages to large groups of people. And this definitely is not presenting results for brands these days. So added to this, retailers also facing huge pressure due to ever-increasing economic uncertainty, changing consumer preferences, and definitely declining profits. We're reading, constantly of retail footprints around the world declining rapidly. But all this points to the fact that a different approach is absolutely necessary, especially as according to more McKinsey research, 65% of customers see targeted promotions as a top reason to actually make a purchase. They will not take action if the communication is not targeted. So fortunately, retailers are beginning to view AI and Gen AI as a way to actually reverse this downward trend of engagement and trying to accelerate their growth with increasing number of experimenting through AI to improve mass promotions. So mass personalization really be the key focus here. Retailers can be more strategic by using AI for those targeted promotions, leveraging, as we mentioned earlier, data to actually tailor these discounts based on people's shopping preferences or their affinity for different types of offers, and most definitely really understanding their need states, Kevin. The key takeaway for me is to quote again here, with a more granular approach to customer segmentation, retailers can craft promotions that target specific customer lifecycle stages, such as new customer acquisition, customer retention, repeat purchase, building in the loyalty program, and on the back of that, reducing risk of churn, or specific business objectives such as promoting a particular brand or category or encouraging cross-selling. And then, as we spoke about last week, brand stretch as well. The article tells us that retailers can successfully deliver programs of targeted offers at scale by adopting the following 5 approaches, Kevin. Firstly, apply business rules and algorithms to determine offerings and timing of delivery. That talks to that better data proposition. Build flexible, fit-for-purpose coupons, such as tiering discount rates, so that those who buy more save more, limiting usage to certain categories or time periods, or designing offers that include or exclude certain premium categories or brands. Move premium brands out of the hard discount space, keeps them in the premium category. Deliver targeted promotions through all available marketing channels, such as through a company website, through your apps, push notifications, text messages, emails, getting your chatbots in place. Activate personalization with an always-on cadence where relevant. And finally, support offers with a clear, highly relevant communications, such as dynamic recommendations that update in real time for individual customers based on their purchasing behavior or browsing history. And I really do like that last point, dynamic recommendations.
Craig, but just to reiterate, getting the right data and using the data, stuff like your customer retention, your new customer acquisition, your stages and your life cycle of a customer, with the right data, you might completely be missing something because, sometimes we get stuck with the thing that's straight in front of us and we don't see potential new options, right?
Yes.
I think that's what's beautiful about when we utilize the data and we look at, what haven't we not considered here, and what could it potentially be? I think that's what makes it also gives it that edge, and that's what's going to be useful for brands that do that and brands who don't.
And what I love about that point is that, it changes the approach to thinking. in trying to reach consumers differently. And that really is what it's about. We have to move away from this traditional sort of step-by-step realm of thinking and take a step back and look down from the balcony with a very different new lens of glasses, Kevin.
Okay, so what role does content play in delivering these offers?
Yeah, I think you've definitely hit the sweet spot there. As we note, the article is constantly referencing this notion of tailored content. So in addressing your question, we note that to truly enhance the impact of targeted promotions, companies can use Gen AI to highly tailor copy and creative content that resonates more strongly with groups and subgroups of consumers than traditional marketing communications. And again, two key points to note here is that marketers have traditionally focused on improving customer experience and influencing customer decisions by creating convenience or better prices. However, they need to understand that the next step is actually to make the buying experience even more convenient or enjoyable through greater relevance. And content is the connector to the relevance aspect there, Kevin.
Great, but I think tailored content it's been in all the conversations we've had around marketing just this month. It's comes up as an absolute theme the whole time. So you can hear that written publication that's been written about this is really pushing that agenda and saying really make sure how you tailor that content so it's applicable to exactly the right audience. Right, it comes up a lot.
And that's a perfect segue into the next point, because I think one of the biggest challenges, particularly for smaller brands that don't have big marketing budgets, don't have big marketing machines and a broad network of agency partners, is that addressing small consumer groups with customized content has been a very costly process. And in many instances, if the technology isn't in place, practically infeasible as well. So by adopting Gen AI and getting into the subsets of these little communities and groups, marketers are able to develop content at scale at much lower cost, automating processes to reduce those bottlenecks of operational inefficiencies, and then allowing them to evaluate content performance. Three critical components of the benefits of bringing Gen AI into the mix. But what we can see that smarter use of Gen AI definitely helps deliver more considered, personalized engagement across multiple touch points, Kevin, all tailored to what customers want. And then by integrating the solutions that align with the people, with the process and the platforms, we're definitely going to get much more rigorous content creation, smoother delivery across the teams, and seamless implementation of those targeted promotions and content, particularly to the subgroups. And where marketers do deploy Gen AI effectively, they're able to personalize content development, take note of this, up to 50 times faster than the more manual approach. And for me, why on earth wouldn't marketers want to be using Gen AI in their campaign development, Kevin?
Yeah, and that's the point, Craig. The point is, how do you get to that the insight, the information, just a little bit quicker than you've ever done it before, and then you have content, you have insight in a way that you could actually deliver this completely differently, right?
And it's iterative. That's the beauty about it.
Yeah. What role does technology play? Because I'm sure that's also a big part of this in personalization, at least.
Absolutely. And the article references the marketing stack quite regularly and frequently, but really, to get better targeted promotions and Gen AI boosted content, companies need to turn to the tech stack, because this is where it all comes together, Kevin. And what's really amazing about this article, as recent as it is, 30 January 2025, it actually references another McKinsey article dated 2019, which was titled "A Technology Blueprint for Personalization at Scale." So, 5 years going into 6 years old, this article, absolute relevance today. And it describes the 4D strategy, which is data, decisioning, design, and distribution. And that's the principal primary objective of a good marketing technology stack. But over the past 6 years, there's a new sort of pillar that's been brought into the mix, and it's the one that I referenced earlier as well. Measurement. Measurement is a critical component. So together they now make the new 5 dimensions that set the technology blueprint for this consolidated personalization at scale. And the article, excuse me, provides a really nice little summary of each of those pillars. So let's have a look at the first one, being data. Fully automation, single source of truth for customer data to serve real-time needs of activations, analytics, and measurement. That's the positioning around data. From the decisioning dimension, it's about advanced analytics and machine learning to create customer scoring and real-time triggers. For the design dimension, it's about central repository to enable dynamic offers and create optimization. For the distribution dimension, it's about architecture to deliver messages and experiences across all the channels. And then for the new dimension that's come along, measurement, it's comprehensive cross-channel metrics to inform on performance and engagement.
Yeah, and what's lovely about that, it gives you like just a nice step process, right?
Yes.
Data, decision, design, distribution, and measurement. Absolutely. Craig, so can you take us through the 5 technology framework pillars in more detail?
Absolutely, Kevin. Yeah, so referencing the report, let's start with the data pillar. Here, marketers can gain a deeper level of insights into customer behavior and preferences when improving their data collection and analysis. The better data piece we spoke about earlier. And while many enterprises have invested in data lakes, these are large storage platforms that hold, process, and analyze the structured and unstructured data. Customer data platform software that centralizes and unifies the customer data from the multiple sources to create that single view of each customer. Better targeted offers and content requires expanding data architecture into 5 categories. So it's not just an easy pillar to start with. You really need to understand how to use the data effectively. So promotion subjects that includes the history of offers and redemptions is your first category. Content subject area that includes the history of content delivery and engagement. The third category here is universal and potentially Gen AI enabled metadata and taxonomy, which can improve the flow of automation. The fourth category here being a robust analytics infrastructure and ML ops, which is your machine learning operations, with dedicated feature stores to rapidly deploy and scale your machine learning models. And then the 5th category in the data realm here is new data pipelines and integrators, prompt stores, vector-based databases to build or customize your large language model implementation. So again, the technology stack is not an easy resolve. It requires high investment and big teams to manage it. But when you structure the architecture across these 5 categories, you're definitely going to be in a position and an advantage over your competitors to use and understand data more effectively, Kevin.
High-performing teams don't just happen, they're built. And at the core of every successful team is a contagious identity. It's more than teamwork, it's a mindset. It's about creating a culture where collaboration is second nature. Innovation thrives, and every member steps into their true potential. When teams embrace the correct mindset and contagious identity, they tap into something bigger, a shared purpose, aligned values, and an unstoppable moment that drives high-performing teams. Because when identity is contagious, every team member plays with passion and owns their impact, and thrives in an environment where growth isn't just expected, it's inevitable. A contagious identity is where power meets transformation. For more information, go to kevinbritz.com.
On the LSP program that we work on, we have an expert that always speaks about scrutinizing the data. And really, as much as you get the data, it's like, how are you probing at that data to understand what the outcome will, how the outcome will change at the end of the day. So it's really like looking at it and testing. If we change this, if we take this into consideration, really unpack the data to that degree.
And it's also about understanding what you want to take out from the data. It's not just about trying to create columns and columns of analysis which actually aren't being used at the end of the day.
And I think because one of the points that we've actually discussed over a few years now is depending on the data, you can also have a biased kind of position. So you're kind of going, okay, well, if you're taking out some of the data, how is it influencing, and does it now show up with a different bias? So, it's all of that.
That's a good point.
It's, it really just delivers what it's seeing. But if you're not actively kind of asking a different kind of question, you might get completely biased data.
Absolutely, such a good point to make. Kevin, moving to the decision pillar, here it's about to develop new targeted promotions and content through more robust targeting. These marketers and retailers can benefit from refreshing their decision engines with new AI models. And this is another good point it makes, is because the technology and software is in a constant evolution in its own right as well. The tasks here, four key tasks, is promo propensity, and this predicts the likelihood of a customer making a purchase due to a promotion based on their previous purchasing and engagement behavior. And then this can obviously lead to better customer satisfaction and targeting with the right level of discount to improve those margins. So you're constantly needing to ensure that you're tailoring the value in the business. Then promo uplift, or promotional effectiveness. It predicts the promotional ROI, or uplift, by analyzing customer behavior during the promotion and non-promotion period. So again, it's a constant process of evaluation and review. Then we have content propensity, back to the content pillar. It predicts the likelihood that a customer will respond to that piece of content. Propensity scores enable the automated delivery of the best content that will encourage customers to respond to a call to action. And then finally, content effectiveness. This measures the effectiveness of that piece of content by analyzing customer response. Highly effective content can be reused or thematically replicated in future campaigns, and it helps to model outputs that are then fed into the decision engine that ranks and determines the best offer and content to show that particular customer segment, that particular offer at a particular given point in time, Kevin.
Yeah, and like you say, Craig, you have to really consider, what it is you want from the data, because that's going to influence and impact the decision later on down the road.
Correct.
There's this constant reiteration of getting the information.
Yeah, and I remember one of the chats we had probably a year and a half ago, we spoke about the marketing strategy process that happens on an annual basis. Then it is beginning to get into a quarterly basis, but the marketing process needs to be reevaluated on a monthly basis, in fact, on a daily basis, as technology is changing, as the technology stack demands are being strangled by more data inputs. There really is this need to continuously revisit where you're at from a capability point of view and where the strategies are going based on the rich insights you're getting. But moving to one of the key things for me here is about design. And innovation design ensures that the content is both engaging and relevant. A sophisticated design layer that oversees the two critical workflows, that being offer management and content production, helps manage the process, enabling both operational excellence and agility. And, as more and more retailers and brands are starting to find parity around the adoption of such technologies, I think speed to market and agility really becomes a critical factor there, Kevin. Targeted offers work best with the integrated offer management system to firstly catalog, manage, deliver, and redeem these particular targeted offers across any channels, including e-commerce and point of sale. And obviously the retail media networks really plug into the point of sale proposition in a real-time dynamic way. Content management begins with Gen AI tools for creating copy and developing your suite of created assets, handling versioning, formatting content as varied as billboards, taking different content and messages in different geolocations, and then obviously mobile devices for that real-time engagement, Kevin. Digital assets are stored in a single centralized digital asset management system, and it's crucial that both the offer management system and the digital asset management system are well integrated into all of the channels. And this enables easy search, reuse, and dynamic delivery of assets. And again, not just the agility of speed to market, but also bringing down the cost of creating new content on a continuous basis.
Craig, and I'm just thinking, with this going through this process, you inevitably going to understand where the distribution is going to lie based on following this process.
Yes,
Not everything is going to work in the same environment. So
correct.
understanding it to that degree will dictate where the distribution essentially happens.
Different message, different place, different time, different channel, different offer. Absolutely, Kevin. So then, yeah, again, perfect segue into the distribution pillar. True real-time personalization requires the sophisticated architecture that actually delivers the seamless and consistent messaging to the right audience, exactly as I mentioned, at the right time. As customers are moving through channels, that message has to be more relevant and it has to get them at the right time in those different channels. Excuse me. So the critical infrastructure combines core capabilities as follows: instant processing of customer signals fed to the journey orchestration and decisioning platforms to optimize that right message and channel to meet the customer in the right environment. Front-end tools that support the company's website, apps, and email, such as content campaign management systems, as well as dynamic content optimization opportunities, built with these dynamic modular templates and API integrations to render personalized content in real time. And then the final important point here is the interoperability and integrations across multi-vendor platforms. And when you've got various publishers and various other outlets, particularly the likes of the retail media networks, you need that interoperability and integration to be seamless.
Yeah, and it comes back to the point if there's no measurement in place, how do you know what you're working with, right? And it's so it's such a critical part of understanding the data and knowing what you're doing with the data, and then taking it back and redoing the process.
And that's why it's great to end on that pillar then, Kevin, the measurement pillar. So yeah, the comprehensive marketing tech stack definitely requires this continuous thorough measurement to enable ongoing optimization and improvement. And yeah, it's all about validating your return on investment of those personalized efforts. So you've got to continuously, incrementally test, standardize your metrics, and then measure your playbooks on a continuous basis. That really is essential for success. Businesses need actionable intelligence for this continuous improvement, Kevin. Marketers can implement these closed loop measurement capabilities by aggregating data across all, or at least not across, but from all of their channels into that centralized reporting engine. And that will then start producing the self-serve dashboards for distinctive stakeholders. And it's important here to understand what you're reporting and what information those different levels of reports actually need to deliver, from executive leadership tracking revenue and margin impact to marketing operations that are worried about optimizing campaigns in real time. So data in, data out, how do you segment the data, and how you deliver effective communication and take out insights from the different levels of data that you're reporting on, Kevin.
Fantastic. I love it. So guys, if you want to catch that, we've been speaking about marketing this whole month already, and this is your unlocking the next frontier of personalized marketing. Craig, I think you're going to enjoy the quote for today. Is W. Edwards Deming said, "Without data, you're just a person with an opinion."
Beautiful. Beautiful. I really do like that. Thank you.
Guys, please remember to like and share and tune into Lunchtime Service every Wednesday and Thursday. For myself and Craig, have a fantastic week. Craig, I will see you next week.